Welcome to Sunny Stamping Studio, and today we're working on a simple watercolor with marker card using the Bloomin' Beautiful stamp set. Now I'm not going to be showing you the watercoloring per se. I'll give you a little idea of how to do it. Unfortunately, it's a very detailed process. I do have a video tutorial on the 12 Weeks of Christmas DVD. It's about half hour long. It is a long, involved process, and it's too long to be showing you here on YouTube. So what you're going to do is you're going to stamp out your poppy image 3 times, 1 full and 2 heads of the poppy. You're going to be using the front section of one and the whole flower of the other. Now, in order to achieve the right colors, or the same colors that I have, you are going to be using a little bit of your Melon Mambo, your Real Red, and your Bravo Burgundy. And the basic process for doing this is to start off with your lightest color first. Color in a section petal by petal. You don't want to be doing more than that because you don't want to end up with the whole thing drying out on you and soaking in. Okay, so you're just going to take your water brush and work the color in. Okay. You're going to let that dry once you've put your first layer of color. Once it's dried, you are going to then layer your second bit of color, going only part way up, maybe up to here, the Real Red. Color it the same way from light into the dark and pull back a little bit. Clean off your brush when you want to blend the two lines so that you don't darken the whole area. When that is dry, you're going to put your third color right at the bottom over here. You're going to start from light into the dark, pulling a little bit of the dark up, clean your brush, and then just blend those colors together, let it dry. It's important that you really remember to let these layers dry in between each color. The leaves will be done in Old Olive and Garden Green, and a little bit of highlighting with your Tempting Turquoise, okay? So you can go ahead with the coloring portion, and we'll be right back. Okay, so my image is now colored, and I'm just going to cut out the 2 pieces. Now remember, for this one over here, I'm just going to be cutting out the front section, and for this one over here, I'm going to be cutting out the back section right over there, okay? And I'm going to cut those out, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm now ready to put my card together. I have my 2 pieces cut out, a whole flower and that little front section of the flower. Once again, remember the base is colored so that when you look at it from the side, you're not going to be seeing any white underneath, okay? We're going to start by taking our watercolor piece over here, the one that's on the full piece of watercolor paper, and just fraying up the edge a little bit. Try to be careful not to warp your whole image. Okay, just get rid of the fluff over there. Okay, so we have that nicely frayed up, and I'm going to start sticking down my flower layers with the Stampin' Dimensionals. If it goes over a little bit, we'll just take some paper snips and snip off the excess. Okay, remove your backings and stick it over your first flower. Okay, then take your second one, and you're going to take a Stampin' Dimensional and stick it to the back. And this one's overlapping a little bit, so I'm going to trim off the excess. Yeah, that's better. Okay, there, so we've got some nice layers to our flower, as you can see. Okay, and now I can put together the rest of my card. So I have my chocolate chip base over here. I'm going to pan out just a smidge. Okay, so I've got my chocolate chip base. I'm going to take my Sweet Pea designer paper. This is that kind of blue cross hatch pattern. I'm going to fray up the edges a little bit. just added a little bit of fraying. Get rid of that fluff. Just to make it a little bit more interesting, I am going to stick it to my card backing. Okay, so got that over there. I've now taken my second piece of Sweet Pea DP, matted it on some craft, and I'm putting it right across. Okay. Then I'm going to take my image. I'm going to take a 9-inch piece of satin ribbon, and I'm just going to tie it around the base area. So this is like a really fairly simple card to make. It's just the watercoloring portion is a little bit more tricky. And once again, I mean, I have a good watercoloring tutorial on the 12 Weeks of Christmas DVD, or you can just take a look at one of my other, the Matryoshka card DVD for some basic watercoloring tips. This one is watercolor with markers, just to remind you. And unfortunately, I can't show the whole process because it is a fairly, I mean, the tutorial on the DVD is like a half-hour video, and it's a fairly detailed on how to make it. Okay, so I have my card over here, or I have my image over here. I'm just going to stick it to my card. I'm actually going to use dimensionals to stick it this time. Otherwise, I would have used a sticky strip if I didn't use dimensionals, because I find just snail adhesive and watercolor paper, it doesn't seem to have quite the same sticking power. Maybe it's just the type of paper, I'm not sure. Okay, I'm just going to remove my backings. Place my card, my image as such. Okay. And then to finish off, I am going to put my little buttons on with some glue dots. These are craft corduroy buttons. Try and make sure their holes are facing the proper direction. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put that a little bit further apart there. Okay, so there you have the simple card. If you want, you can add a little greeting. I have my greeting punched out of my oval scallop, and you can just place it down here, or you could place it at this area over here, or you can leave it as I have it with no greeting at all. Okay, so thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you again next week.